All right, guys. So next match we had here, possible match of the night, is Daniel Bryanson or whatever direction his name goes, going up against Will Ospreay. And yeah, pretty intense match, pretty hard-hitting match, lots of crazy moves here and there. And the big climax was that I forget exactly what he did to Brian. Didn't he like
Oh,
back
he
him?
is what's that?
Well, well, the thing is, he hit that Bryanson with some kind of move that had him kind of I guess injured or kind of concussed or
It's
something.
one of his finishers.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, was it the driver, hidden driver, something like that? But the thing is that Osprey didn't realize it, and he went ahead and hit him with the hidden blade and won the
It's
match.
called the storm. It's the
Oh,
storm. The storm driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, storm driver.
Storm driver.
Okay. Yeah. Hit him with the storm driver. Danny Ransom was I'm not sure if it was kayfabe or whatever, but when Osprey didn't notice and hit him with the hidden blade anyway, and took him down and won the match that way. And the result of that, now we got this new thing that he's never going to do the storm driver ever again because of what happened. But Callis isn't taking that, and that's causing a little wedge there.
So they're obviously building that up, which is, I give him some credit for that. And I like it because on Dynamite, he was about to use it, but he didn't because he hesitated during the gauntlet match that they were doing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting that they did that. All I can say about this match is like, okay, so I know a lot of people want to get mad at me for this, but I was still in and out at this point because I didn't have enough sleep the previous night. So I was like awake, out, awake, out. And even in my dreams, I'm still here commentating. I dreamt that I was sitting in the arena watching this match with them doing the spots with what I was hearing. And I did rewatch part of this match while you were doing your thing. I did rewatch the match. But it was still, even in my dream, this match was awesome. So I don't know what to make of that. I mean, what do you say to that? But yeah, I like the match. It had some good spots, good technical stuff because I like the technical wrestling that Danielson does. I like how Ospreay can adapt to a lot of the stuff that's in with who he works with. And I think and this was a good investment, I will admit, but it makes me wonder where they're going to go with this, like as far as feuds go with Ospreay, and maybe like you said with the Callis family thing, he's going to try to step away from him, and also Fletcher because he looks sad too, because Callis isn't being nice to him either. So, and just before we even get into it, everybody went for Ospreay. We all knew Ospreay was going to win, so just getting that out the way now. Yeah, I thought it was good. It was nice, good match. They didn't like do all the crazy stuff at the beginning. They built up the match. It had good pacing. I thought that was good, and I wish more matches could be done that way.
All I can say is ole, 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 Osprey, Osprey. But yeah, thoughts, amigos?
Yeah, this was actually a pretty intense match. Like, again, it seems like AEW has one particular match. It seems like it shouldn't even be in their promotion. It should be in like Wrestle Kingdom or something else. This was actually one of those matches. Very intense, especially between their two styles. There were a couple of spots that were pretty scary. Like, for instance, the Storm Driver 91. That was... that actually scared the crap out of me looking back at it in review. But to me, one of the more harder ones, and this is where I take my hat off to Will Ospreay, he's retiring that move, but yet there was another angle, like a full other angle of Daniel Bryan hitting him with a Busico knee after he was doing a backflip in mid-flight. He kneed him right in the head. And for Ospreay to go, okay, I'm retiring this move after taking a full-on knee shot in mid-flight, that's a lot of respect. That's a whole lot of respect and a whole lot of fortitude because looking at that move in slow motion, he should have been out like a light. I don't know how he continued the match or if he remembers continuing the match. I know I probably wouldn't, but still, all around, that was a banger of a match, and that's definitely match of the night, hands down.
100% agree. Johnny, you go next.
Okay, so this was obviously, in my opinion, this is probably one of the best matches. I would dare to say in AEW history, like I have not have ever seen a match this intense and this entertaining, and I like how technical Bryan Danielson is, and I like how well Ospreay is able to adapt to his style. And it kind of feels like a tango dance, like when both partners are able to, I don't know, adapt to a certain style, a certain rhythm, like the whole match felt that way. And it was just a spectacular match, and it was very intense. And yeah, that last segment when Bryan Danielson got injured really bad by Will Ospreay, and even though Will Ospreay won the match, even he felt like, holy shit, like what have I done? This move has horrible effects. It has, it's a very serious thing. It can cause massive injury. And yeah, that speaks good volume on Will Ospreay, that despite all that, he still has compassion and he cares for his fellow men, so that, when stuff like that happens, he's still going to be like, you know what, this is going a little too far, so I'm going to just stop doing that type of move, and that was pretty interesting. That was very intense, and that's way better than the that time when what's her name with the Aminaya versus what's her name, Vicky Starks, that match.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The fake injury, yeah.
Yeah, that was way better than that fake injury incident, but it did kind of give me a little bit flashback on that because that was very intense as well. That was very like a crowd shocker. I mean, people were like, oh shit, like that's kind of like the feeling I had when that happened. And of course, I think there's going to be a storyline behind this because what's his name? The Don Caddis just doesn't look too happy about that. He wants Will Ospreay to be pretty heel in that regard, so he's not a fan of Will Ospreay carrying too much, I guess. So we'll see what they do with that one. But yeah, overall, I honestly think that's one of the best matches in AEW history, and definitely for this whole pay-per-view, that has definitely been the best match of all the matches they've had. And, to put blame on Tony Khan not knowing how to book the matches in the correct order, I will say that after having this match, the next match felt super out of place. We'll get there when we get there, but you know what I mean. It's just like,
I can't wait to get there so I can complain.
Yeah.
I agree. I think this is one of those matches where, to give the devil his dues, this is one of those matches that I would put in the caliber of when you ask an indie wrestling fan, like, their list of top matches in their memory outside of WWE, they think of matches just Danielson's career alone. Nothing will ever top his match with Nigel McGuinness, but this is a very very close second. That and Okada. I mean, like I said, I mean, you have two guys who are essentially the goats of their established, are two of the best of their established homes. Danielson's was Ring of Honor, and Ospreay's is New Japan. So for them to collide in such a way, it does feel like in that caliber of like, where were you? Did you ever see that match? Like that, it feels like that. It feels like one of those matches where people will talk back years about just this match alone. Hell, there's even matches that people bring up from Lucha Underground. We're like, oh, you remember? Like, this is like one of those matches where it's like, oh, you remember this match? That's what this match is going to be remembered as. And honestly, like, seeing them pull out everything out of their arsenal, back and forth and back and forth, it was like, it was literally a deadlock. It literally could have gone either way for either of them, and neither of them showed up one another. Neither of them made each other look bad. Neither of them were trying to, undersell, oversell. It was all just perfectly timed. This is what happens when you have two perfect ring workers and you just put them in a match and say, give it your all, and it shows. And I think they're going to, if they're smart, they'll use a whole storyline of like, use this as a backdrop for Danielson's last match. To go like, no, you can't. You can't go out there. No, Danielson, no. Your head injuries. No. And even have Shibata go like, no, you remember me, Danielson, you remember. And then just go off of that route. And build off of that. I really think they could do something with that and like have him I just need one more. Have the Rocky Balboa, I just need one more shot. And then everyone goes like, eh. I really see that storyline going with Danielson's career, with him just one final farewell of like, I gave it my all. Goodbye, everybody. And then I mean, I'm going to say it right now, when he goes off in the sunset, they will more than likely, I really think, when he's done with AEW, they're going to more than likely put him in the WWE Hall of Fame. I really think they're going to do that. Because he did a lot for WWE, too. So, I don't know. I see it.
I mean,
that's how I see it as, but... yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. I was going to like kind of agree with you what you said with WWE, because like I said, I really got behind Daniel Bryan after he lost to Sheamus after that 2-second match, and even I was like, no. And after that, even I was on the yes train with that. After that,
I love when one thing I will say, I love Sheamus to death. I think he's an awesome dude. I've met him before. He's very nice. He was at a panel one time and I said, looking back, do you regret the 16 seconds, the 30-second spot where you beat Danielson? He goes, I do regret it. I feel bad. And just looking back, I wish I could go back in time and make it 20 seconds. And then starts laughing. I'm like, like, kudos. But no, but like I said, I think he's going to ride off in the sunset. If Danielson's smart, he's going to ride off in the sunset. He's already said he's going to.
Yeah,
now again,
with this gear, it sounds like.
Now again,
yep.
This is why I say that these two are just out there for the love of the sport, because again, Ospreay, you have another match that's literally match of the night. And just like the last pay-per-view with Tanahashi, there was nothing on the line to make them go this balls out in this match. There was no title, there was no faction wars, nothing. It was literally just two guys having a match, and literally that was the best match of the entire pay-per-view on the whole card. So, I mean, that just comes to show, if you put two wrestlers out there that are decent and tell them, give them your all, they'll fucking do it if it's right.
I think another good point with this match is the honor feel to it too. It had that Ring of Honor feel to it, in my opinion, because they had that respect from one another, and they showed with the way they actually conducted their match, and I enjoyed that too. So there's that. And as we all know, Ospreay won. Everyone went for Ospreay. Everyone gets a point.
Yep. So then we have the match that has all the controversy and more. We've been not so much the match itself, but I guess the reason for the match and the story behind the match and whatever.
Skip it.
No, is the Young Bucks EVPs with Matthew Jackson and Nicholas Jackson versus FTR, Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler. Tournament final for big ladder match for the vacant AEW World Tag Team Championships. Oh yeah, because that was because Sting left, right? Was it because of that?
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I tuned you out because you're talking about this match.
Yeah, I think that's it, right? The big tag team tournament, because of course Sting retired, so they vacated.
They had to vacate the belts, and Darby can't do anything with it now because his ankle's messed up. So they had to vacate it because Sting left, and it was just a dumb reason to have him have the win in the first place, or have it be a title match to begin with.
Yeah,
but
So, ladder match, lots of ladders on top of ladders, people getting sandwiched between ladders, getting, slammed in ladders. And, Dax is, I don't know why, but he keeps getting bladed now. You didn't do that before in the earlier, year or two ago, but now every other match, he's now starting to become the Moxley of the FTR tag team.
Yeah.
I guess because he's bald, he wants something that resembles hair in his head. But yeah, just whatever match, and as you expect, the stupid EVPs won, so they're the AEW Tag Team Champs because whatever, and
because of interference by some loser kid some loser kid jumped in and went into the ring, and they caught him and. They unmasked him instead of just hauling his butt right back out.
Yeah, I got how they grab him, they unmask him, then they just leave him there. Like, it's like, okay, it's Jungle Jack Perry, but like, okay, let's take him away anyway. You know what I mean? But yeah, I forgot about that, but yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, so Perry's back. He helped the Young Bucks win. The EVPs, whatever, they're the AEW Tag Team Champs. Isn't it like the third or so time they're Tag Team Champs already?
Probably.
In the company?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think they are the tag team that's been the champs like the most number of times since the company's been around.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder whose name's on the door. Like Ricky Rock used to say the name on the door. But yeah, so there we go. Thoughts on the match, guys?
Do we have to give our thoughts?
I'm going to pass this over to Jack because I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm going to keep it short, brief, and sweet. Didn't know, didn't care, didn't watch the match.
Ah, okay.
Jack, you're up.
Just hard pass.
Okay, I'll give a quick.
Surprisingly, surprise. I didn't give a flying shit about this match.
Oh, wow.
Like surprise. It's like that meme that surprise. That's me.
Surprise.
I'm just like, I don't care about, as fucked up as it. I've already said. I've said everything I could say about the Bucks, and all of it's true. Honestly, at this point, FTR, I couldn't care less about them either. I mean, they've lost any sort of spark that they've had. I mean, for me, their momentum went with Jay Briscoe. And it's true. I'm not trying to be a dick here. Since their feud with the Briscoes, what has FTR done? They peaked. That's as simple as that. They peaked. They never could recover from it. It was so good. It just, and then.
They signed off for like a couple more years on their contract, didn't they?
I don't know. Wow.
I know they resigned and all that stuff, and I'm just saying, like, what's the point at this point? I mean, well, I
Well,
guess
here's the other thing. Here's the other thing is like with Jack Barry popping in, or as I call him, Jungle Bitch.
No,
When Jungle Bitch walked in, I was like, okay, and he cost the FTR the belts, I guess.
yeah,
And then
titles.
and then, like I said, that led into the whole Dynamite thing that we talked about. But here's the problem with that. It didn't even make sense from a storyline perspective for, oh, you could trust Jack Perry because he cost a top babyface tag team the belts. And then even before that, the dude is in Bullet Club House of Torture, which for those not in the know, House of Torture are literally like the most bloodthirsty assholes in New Japan. Like even regular Bullet Club, yeah, they're hardcore, they're assholes too. But House of Torture literally beat the shit out of people with weapons. Like Jack Perry calls himself the scapegoat. They know him as Scapegoat Jack Perry in New Japan. And he literally has a giant mask of an embalmed goat's head that he walks to the ring with. And he'll use it to hit people with it. And I'm just like, and then he came out at Windy City Riot with a jacket that said Cry Me a River. And I'm just like, so he's doing everything to be a heel. And you want me to believe he could have been a good guy so much that Tony Khan would trust him? Like, you don't even make sense for your own damn story. And then, like I said, with the Bucks and FTR, I couldn't even pretend to give a shit at this point. You've squandered any sort of hope I had for any sort of positivity about their match. I've seen every single solitary move out of these idiots. Like you're like, wow, is FTR going to hit them with a running bulldog? Oh, they hit him with a running bulldog. Is the Young Bucks going to hit him with a double super? Oh, they hit him with a double. Is it? Oh my! I'm like, I've seen it.
I'm sorry, I'm falling asleep at the I'm sorry, I'm getting sleepy at the retelling of this match.
Because it's that boring. You made yourselves into a meme. And I don't care. I don't care. I just was like, okay. I barely remember the match. It's like Jack Perry came in. Okay. And we're like, isn't that shocking? I'm like, no, who gives a shit? He didn't interfere in the world title match. He didn't interfere in Okada's match. He didn't interfere in hell. He didn't even, hell, I guarantee if you really wanted to make Jack Perry a heel, have him cost Willow the TBS belt. That would have made him.
I want to see her slam him. On concrete.
I'm just saying, but that would have turned him full, fuck you. But
and it would have been unexpected. I mean, really unexpected.
Yeah, no one would have seen that shit coming. What would have been better is the Hook Jericho match, have Jack Perry slide in and go, no, don't hurt Jericho, don't hurt him. And then Jack Perry, the Dex Hook, and then that would have been even me coming up with that off the top of my head was a better thing than what they did. It was stupid. It was boring, and no one's going to remember it in a year.
Yeah, the only thing that's kind of sort of memorable is the fact that Jack Perry came in and calls FTR the match. Whatever.
Oh, but what would have really certified Jack Perry as a heel is if he would have made AEW lose one of their top draw performers. Wait a minute. That already happened.
Mm-mm.
All right, so they're the tag team champs. Oh, your thoughts, Johnny?
Well, about this match, I didn't care about the match. I don't give a fuck about the Young Bucks.
Oh,
You can actually tell from the audience
They didn't care either.
if people didn't care. Like when you had the Will Ospreay match and everybody's like cheering up and the audience is very like invested into that match and everybody's like, oh my god, like there's so much momentum in that match. And then the next match is the Young Bucks. It felt like a lackluster. Like the audience, like you could tell the ring sounded so quiet. The audience sounded so dead. Like it was just like it's just there. Like they just had one of the best matches, with the Will Ospreay match. And then to have this shit after that, it's a boot killer. And it's just there. I didn't like the match. I mean, they make of course, because Tony Khan's in charge of this stupid event, they try to make it look like it's a big deal. Like we're supposed to actually care about this match. But in actuality, nobody really cared about this match. And just Jungle Brad being there doing it's like whatever. I'm like whatever. The whole thing is stupid.
Yeah, and even though this he had
Oh, and I think Jack Perry actually made the match worse. Like the match was already bad as it is. He made it worse because now he really, yeah, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. Like, long story short, and Jack gets what I mean when I say this, I would sooner watch a Charlotte Flair match to completion on SmackDown before I ever watch another Young Bucks match, especially if they're dealing with Jack Perry. No, fuck that.
I was gonna say like gosh, I forgot what I was thinking, but
oh God, we're gonna see that, aren't we? Whenever Kenny Omega comes back, it's probably gonna be Kenny Omega and FTR versus Young Bucks and Jack Perry. That's most likely what they're gonna do.
More than likely, but remember they still have Okada on their side too, because he's part of the group.
Oh God, who would be? Oh fuck, is Hangman still injured or something? Because probably Kenny, Hangman, FTR versus Young Bucks. Cody.
Oh, like what's they call him? He's just calling him Japanese Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and Jack Perry, 4-on-4.
There you go.
Oh, one last thing I want to add about this stupid match with the Young Bucks is that if you've never seen the Young Bucks match, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably don't want to see a match from this, but if this is like, I don't know, that you're now seeing it with full clarity because they made such a big deal about this match, now you really notice how shitty and how crappy they are as wrestlers. Like, holy shit, they're that bad.
Oh yeah, and one little tidbit that you may not have noticed, and Jack, I don't know if you noticed this too, but if you noticed that they kept rotating the camera on certain parts of the match, because if you look at the crowd, you actually could see places where people in the front row were leaving. They were going to the contestant stand or going to the bathroom or wherever, but they were actually leaving the arena during the match.
Yeah, I was saying that while we were watching. I said I noticed that. Yeah, and this was just a bad placement for this match. And I remember I was saying this should have been earlier on the card.
Yeah,
I know, it shouldn't have
-0
been there at
hour.
all. It should have been there.
Yeah,
at
I
all.
did notice that too. I did notice. I noticed that too. I'm like, wow, they can't even keep their own audiences in their seats. They're just like, but you guys are the top guys, and you understand top tier wrestling and top tier.
Because everything is
like,
great,
dude.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, everything's great.
Yeah.
Everything's great. That's my Tony Khan impression. Like, hey guys, everything's great. Everything's really good.
They went for the Swerve Strickland match, which is going to be the following match. if there was no other match other than the Young Bucks, if this is like the last match of the pay-per-view, I would have left it too. Like, I don't give a fuck about the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this would
Like, it's
have
so
been the
boring.
perfect time to do a Sting retirement
If
speech.
they-
Cut it about 5
If
minutes.
they had,
I like that.
I hate saying this because it's not fair to the next match. If they had put the Danielson Ospreay match last and then put Swerve and Joe and then put the Bucks, like in reverse order. So Bucks and FTR, Swerve and Joe, and then Ospreay and Danielson, dude, flat out would have been a better outcome.
That's what I was about to say earlier about about the way the match is set up. The Osprey match really should have been the final match, but it was kind of messed up because, you know, it was a world title match, so that should be the final match.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
Osprey
because
Danielson matches.
because there's a rhythm to booking, and people that know, they know, people that don't. But it's simply this. There needs to be parallels. There has to be parallels. The opening match needs to get you in the seats, and the ending match needs to get you to be so excited you don't want to leave.
Mhm.
That's the parallel. And you need to do that. So in order for that to work, they had the first half down. Nothing against the last match. Nothing against them. But it, like, after Danielson Okada, it's like, or Danielson Ospreay, it was like, it's hard. It's hard, man. It's like seeing like, it's like seeing someone do an epic masterpiece and then in comes a local painter right after, and you're like, yeah, they're good, but it's like, but with this match, it literally like the last match was fucking Momentum City. It was just hype city. This one, like a vacuum, just went and just sucked it all out of the arena.
Mm.
It's like basically the Will Ospreay match. It's like you had a 5-course meal from the most fanciest restaurant in the world, and then the Young Bucks match is like, oh, it's a McDonald's after that.
Yeah. No, it's not even the Young Bucks FTR match wasn't even a McDonald's. That was like getting a hot dog at 7-Eleven.
It's like a
That's
Mhm.
Dude,
All
that's
right.
insult the hot dogs from 7-Eleven, all right?
Oh, I love those hot dogs at 7-Eleven, but after you have a 5-course meal, you're kind of like, it just doesn't hit quite as good.
All right, so for this match, everybody went for the Bucks except for Johnny and Panda.
Yeah.
I still have my dreams, damn it.
Yep. So the final match, the big main event, which is why I got this show, was perfect timing, was Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana in the background going up against Samoa Joe, challenging for the AEW World Championship. And what can I say? It's a pretty good match as you was expecting. Swerve with the speed, Samoa Joe with just the raw strength and the brutality. He doesn't care if he hurts you and all that stuff. I think there was a part where he did get him in the, I think it was a Copina clutch and stuff. And of course, Swerve still did persevere. And in the end, Swerve still won, and he became the new AEW World Champion. And it is so awesome. I'm sure that the following episode of Dynamite is really going to capitalize and showcase. Like, I can't wait to see what promo Swerve cut announcing he's a new champion. Wait, they didn't do that, did they?
No.
It says start up with pockets and bad audio.
Yeah.
I mean, and for the pay-per-view itself, though, it was awesome. We were hyped up. We got up, we were like, yeah, you know, all that stuff. But then, like, Dynamite just killed it, man. And
It killed the
like,
momentum.
a speech or something, you know?
It really, really killed that momentum. Another thing too, even though the Swerve and Joe match was all right, it still was a little bit overshadowed with the Ospreay match, the Ospreay and Danielson match, in my opinion. So, but it was still okay. It was still a pretty good match. You know, there's that one part where Joe's left arm or something was hurt, and he kept selling it, like, oh, it was messed up, so he couldn't, do as much. So
Yeah,
but Joe's a professional. I mean, he knows how to,
how to sell properly.
yeah, unlike
And
some of
then-
these wrestlers that
Yep.
do that they keep forgetting, hey, I'm supposed to be injured, or certain promoters who's supposed to be injured, they still moving their head from side to side. But we're gonna leave that alone. But yeah, I thought the match was all right, but
But yeah.
the match was okay. But like I said, my main issue is the aftermath, because the next Dynamite, as mentioned, they didn't do anything with Swerve. They just put him in a match with Kyle Fletcher but they didn't even have him open Dynamite, and that was like weird to me. He's the new AEW World Champion. Why didn't he get like kind of like a promo package? Why didn't he sit around and talk about how, yay, I'm finally at this moment. I've reached the top, or I mean, whatever. He doesn't want to probably drop the belt.
Well, isn't the answer
that just makes me
obvious?
think that he's just keeping it warm.
Well,
to drop it.
Jupi, you're being silly. They didn't have time for Swerve. They needed time for very, very vitally important things. Like, did you know John Moxley won the IWGP belt? That's far more important, you guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did, didn't he? And they kept pushing that. I mean, okay, like I said, but
someone point. I'll bring it back all the way back, but that's telltale thing. I will bring that up to the point. This was a good, possibly even great match until the ending. The ending sucked. And I'm going to say the reason it sucked for two reasons. One, it came out of nowhere simultaneously. Like everyone I know that watched the match, that saw the match, that I watched the match, like, oh, it's over? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm happy, but I was also, oh, like even the audience were like, oh, yay! You looked at the audience because you know why you were all like that? Because the way it ended, it had Swerve on the top rope, showing Joe on the ground going, and they cut the camera focused on Joe shimming into position, and then Swerve standing, posing, looking down. Then I'm like, dude, you could have freaking microwaved a frozen burrito in that much time. I was like, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Now that was kind of.
It was like the ending, and Will, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was the ending of WrestleMania 22 with Booker T getting hit with the pedigree. It was like that, wasn't it?
No, I was going to take it even worse.
There's a cardinal rule of wrestling. If you hit someone with a finisher and it takes over 30 seconds for you to cover them, they're kicking out. The same applies for if it takes you 2 minutes to hit your finisher.
Actually, I'm going to take that one step worse and one even funnier. You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of that time when Triple H got super kicked by Shawn Michaels and it took him like 5 minutes to fall. Like he literally did like a whole minute just wobbling.
He was like wobble. I was like, it was great up until that last minute. I'm like, dude.
It just felt off because we were talking.
And it was like great.
Yeah, it felt like some old Joe would have kicked out.
I was even okay with it. I was even kind of even into his stupid Killmonger outfit. I'm like, that's kind of cool. The mask looks stupid, but everything else is cool.
Oh, that was another thing too. The moment he came out in the ring and he was like cosplaying as Killmonger or Black Panther, whichever one of the two, I was like, yep, winning. He's winning. I have never seen a single AEW match where someone is cosplaying in some outfit and, with that much detail, not just, a colored thing, but with that much detail, and they lost. You know what I mean? They always win.
Anyway, but honestly, the match was The match out of 10, I would have given it a solid 7. But because of that ending, I got to give it maybe a 5.5, maybe a 6.
The finish was like you said, the finish was weird, and even we were talking about it. But I was like,
But to be fair, I would give Danielson Ospreay 10 out of 10 flat out. But that was a high bar. That's the problem. It was such a fucking high bar. Like no one could hit it. Like literally, like I would give the Okada Pac match about an 8 out of 10. I give Ospreay Danielson 10 out of 10. I'd give this one about a 6.5, maybe 6. 6. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I would say like going back to the Dynamite thing, like, okay, like I said, they didn't do anything with Swerve because, like you said, they had more important things to worry about. But, yeah. But like I said, Willow got her segment after, winning that TBS championship. The Bucks, whatever, I don't care. And then we also had Jericho. Jericho even got a little segment, the FTW belt means for the world now. The Wild. And then we were going to start with my learning tree nonsense. And of course, I will guide the youth. And because, when you're with me, you're in the Jericho vortex. You start down here, but you come out on top when no one actually really does seemingly. So, yeah. And then I was like, so why is Swerve being left out here? Maybe it was a good thing he wasn't. We wouldn't be able to hear anything he had to say anyway. But as bad as the audio was,
I do have a little more to say. I do have a little bit more to say, but I'm gonna pass it over to Will and then to Johnny.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, the match itself was okay. It was just that finisher that was kind of off, and with the Ospreay match overshadowing it, it was gonna still pale in comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall it was a good match. The ending was with them showing like Samoa Joe doing the shift and then taking as long as it did. It went from being, all right, this is awesome, he's gonna do it, it's gonna do it, to all right, this is getting anticlimactic and I got shit to do. Like, you shouldn't be feeling that way on the last move of the last match of the night. And like everybody said, yeah, after the Ospreay and Bryan Danielson match, it was kind of hard to top that. It's like, all right, coming off the stage is Metallica and coming on the stage is a guy with a ukulele. Here we go. Like, it was just really weird. And they tried. Don't get me wrong, they actually tried on this one. And I should have voted for Swerve on this one, but I felt like almost, to me, it was too soon. Like, he should have one more pay-per-view and then he should have got that title. But he did win it. I'm actually finally glad that he won it. But also, like you said, on Dynamite, it's just a little bit odd that they didn't put a promo pack or anything in for him when everyone else that won got a promo pack, including Jericho and his Jericho Bizarre Adventures, the World Belt, which isn't even a real fucking belt. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not real. It's not even a sanctioned belt. It doesn't even look good. It looks like it's made out of fucking wood. How does he get one? And then this guy gets the actual belt, the real deal, the strap, the whole cabines that this whole company was made after, gets no promo. That's bullshit. That's just fucking bullshit. Lazy writing. Whoever did that doesn't need to be fired. They need to be fired out of a cannon. Like, give them a real neck brace. Have them looking like they're wearing a Batman cowl. Like, no.
Oh, God.
This was just a bad idea. But overall, back to the match. I would, right up until that ending, I had high hopes for it. It was a good match. But once that ending hit, it was just like, we're done? Okay. I shouldn't have to guess.
And for as long as that move took, I thought we were going to get some more out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe, because it was just so, it just felt off.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to guess if a match is over or not. If I have to guess, then there's a problem. So, yeah, that kind of dumped my expectations on it. So, I'd say out of a A through F ranking, I'd give it probably about C plus. That's being generous.
Okay, so what I thought about this match is that I don't think the match itself was bad. I mean, it's Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland that we're talking about. They're very talented, and it's unfortunately I don't really remember too much about the match. But all I can say is that I feel like the timing of the match was a little weird because you just had the Will Ospreay match that was awesome. Then you have that stupid Young Bucks match. I was like, oh, what the fuck was that all about?
I love this.
And then you had the Young Bucks match was so bad that I'm sorry, but I even forgot about the Swerve Strickland match for a hot minute because that last match was so bad that it's like, oh shit, I even forgot they had this, the Swerve Strickland match, after that. So that's how bad the match placements were in this pay-per-view, in my opinion. So I think just by doing that itself, it kind of ruined it a little bit, in my opinion. Like, this should have been a much bigger match. Like, I'm not saying it's not a bigger match, but I'm saying just because the way they had it set up, it made it felt like that. It's like, I don't know. But other than that, I mean, I'm glad that Swerve Strickland won this match. Well deserved. It's about damn time he won this match. And yeah, I'm just afraid that what are they going to do with him after the match, right?
They're already screwed.
Yeah.
Also, it's going with Samoa Joe too, because now without a title, he's got no reason to whatever. Maybe more Ring of Honor stuff. I don't know.
And that's another thing. Who else is Samoa Joe going to fight against?
Bad booking.
What if he goes back and try to reclaim his title from in Ring of Honor and they do so with Cal Fletcher?
I'm gonna pitch this idea as a side note. Have a double farewell match. Follow me on this. A double farewell. Samoa Joe versus Danielson.
Okay.
Dude, think about it. A final farewell for both of them? Dude, come on. That would be awesome. Anyway, I have they're two Ring of Honor alumni, both in the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. But okay. So I'm going to say something. I'm just going to put this out there. We've all watched AEW from the days of old to now. I say days of old, it's only been 5 years, but still. Look at everyone who's been champion. Look at the way they've been built and booked and presented. You think of a couple names that stand out. You see Kenny Omega, MJF. You see, Kenny Omega, MJF. You see John Moxley. And what are they presented as? They're presented as these unbeatable, dominant, prestigious champions, even Chris Jericho. But all of that changed, weirdly enough, when Samoa Joe won the belt. For some reason, they didn't book Samoa Joe as a presentable king champion. They just presented him as a monster, like he always was. They presented him the same way without a belt that they did with a belt. And I think they're going to do the same thing with Swerve Strickland. And the proof is in the fact that the following Dynamite, they didn't even have him on the damn show. And what is the major difference?
No, that he was on there. He was on there. They just didn't do a promo, and they gave him gave him a match against Cal Fletcher?
Yeah, Cal Fletcher.
Yeah,
right. Right. But every time they've had the champion win, a new champion. They do a big thing with them on the following Dynamite. They do a big thing about them being a champion. They get a little speech. They get to say, hey, I'm happy I won, and you know, and then someone comes out and challenges them. That's usually how that works. That's wrestling booking 101. And yet they didn't do that with Samoa Joe. They didn't do it with Swerve Strickland. But they've done that for every other champion. Now, it's funny that TK seems to call WWE the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling, when it seems like TK's booking of his champions is very much in the same vein as another accused sexual offender who's no longer in charge of a wrestling company. The way he's booking people who may not necessarily share the same shade as the rest of the roster. Just
You mean P. Diddy?
But in all honesty, really, I'm not the only one who's made this criticism. I mean, look at all of their previous champions who have been of the Caucasian persuasion, as my friend refers to it as. And yet compare them to the non-Caucasian, with the exception, I will say there's one exception, and that's Athena. She's the only one. That's it. But it doesn't count for her because she's on Ring of Honor. She's not even on Dynamite. And Jade. Okay, Jade too. But Jade, I don't know. She was an outlier to the
Jade. No, see, but Tony Khan would fear for his life if he tried to do anything against Jade, you know.
True. But my point of it is I don't see Khan bending over backwards for Swerve. I see the end goal was putting the belt on Swerve, and he's going to be the champion until, I don't know, whatever the next pay-per-view is. I'm going to bet Double or Nothing.
So Ospreay changed.
I mean, hell, the cover of Double or Nothing doesn't even have Swerve on the cover. It has Danielson, it has Tony Storm, and it has like one other person on it. It doesn't even have Swerve on it. I'm like, huh. That's funny. I think it has John Moxley on the cover, actually.
See, now here's where that whole thing about, you know, them short-terming a black wrestler as champion can go bad. And you talked about this in our group a couple of days ago. So that whole thing about non-compete clauses, gone. Which means if they piss him off enough and they screw him over, he could literally leave and pull what Bret Hart was going to do and walk out with that title and go to WWE that next night. No questions asked.
Will, how much money would you pay? How much money would you pay to see Swerve Strickland versus Trick Williams?
Oh, he is new. Oh, yeah.
Credit card.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. I'm like, dude, that's money. That's pure money right there, man. You'd be like, whose house? Whoop that Trick. Whose house? Whoop that. Like, I can totally see that, man.
Like, oh, man, With as hot as Trick and Swerve are right now, if you were to announce that tomorrow night and that literally be the only match on the card, I guarantee you that arena would be packed.
Oh, I 100% agree. It's just like these, but then there are those funny AEW marks that keep going, like thinking they know more than the actual people who know about pro wrestling. Like, oh man, how many times do you have to be proven wrong? Like, oh my God, MJF's going to debut at the Royal Rumble. Oh my God, MJF's going to be at WrestleMania. Oh my God, MJF's going to be at the draft. Oh, I'm like, he's not going. He's signed. He's got guaranteed money in AEW. He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, he's just
sidelined because of his injury.
He's sidelined because of his injury, and he's too busy voice acting for different stuff. I mean, I just found
Yeah,
out.
you showed me that. I was like blown away. I was like, what?
Yeah, the Justice League versus Ruby anime, he was the voice of Killer Croc. And he did a really good job, too. I was surprised. I was surprised it was him.
And apparently I didn't even know he produced Iron Claw. The movie Iron Claw by A24. He actually financed it. I'm like, credit where it's due. But I hope, like I said, man, keep saying PMW. I'm going to make a shirt out of it. But you got to prove me wrong, Con. You got to prove me wrong.
Yep.
Wow, that's something to think about. But we were jokingly saying that about the thing with Swerve, but I didn't think about how Joe was booked either. He was just booked like he usually is. Like, he's a dominant force and no one can beat him. And that's how he continued to present himself.
So basically, to wrap things up, guys. Thoughts on the pay-per-view as a whole. For me,
Wait, I didn't give the score here. Okay, I forgot here. Okay, for this match, everybody went for Swerve except for Panda.
Oh. So what's the overall tally?
Let's see. All right, so the winner of all of this whole thing is the one who isn't here, DJF. There were 12 matches on this card. He got 11 out of the 12. And next would be, shockingly, me with 10. After that, it would be Mark with 9. And then Panda with 8. Johnny with 7. And last is Jack with 6. And of course, since Jack lost, he has to take a TK driver from...
the Young Bucks. Well, not only that, but he gets a copy of AEW Fight Forever.
No.
As a consolation prize.
It's already shipped. It's already been shipped. It's $10.
No.
Best $10 we ever spent.
Yeah. Yep, you got this, but you would rather take the TK driver. Well, at least look on the bright side. At least it's doing, and it's gonna be nowhere near you. And something else we didn't mention about that. The fact that, Tony Khan was laid out in the ring, and then it took about about an hour later for all the everyone to come from the back to check on. I was like, oh no, he signed my picture. We gotta check and make sure he's okay.
You want to know what the most shocking thing in it that happened on Dynamite? The truest shocking thing. And I think I was legit on my jaw on the floor.
No medics.
Evil Uno still works there.
What?
He was there.
Yeah.
I was like, he's still here. Like, that was the most shocking. Like, you're still here?
Well,
It's like walking into the
overall. I will say overall. Oh, sorry. Overall about the pay-per-view. I'd give it maybe, like, if I were to give it a grade, I'd probably give it I'd give it a B, which is pretty good for AEW. I'd give it a B. B minus. I'll give it a B minus. It's a little lower than a B, but it's not bad.
Yeah, overall, I'd probably give it the same grade. It gets a B minus. Like, it was just the way the matches were set. It was just too up and down rather than, just slowly ramping its way up. It just was like, oh, okay, you had this match and then you have the Acclaim. Oh, shit. And then you got Ospreay and this guy and you got the Young Bucks. We're climbing back up. We got Samoa Joe and Swerve, and then you had the ending. Like, I don't know. Johnny, what's your thoughts, man?
Okay, so in terms of in my opinion, I felt like this pay-per-view felt a little bit of a rush job because, since I just we just recently saw the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and then after that, oh shit, the AEW one, like I didn't even know this thing was going on, and I felt like there wasn't that much build up. Like I felt like they just forcefully had this pay-per-view. We just have to, oh shit, we gotta do a last minute script, put all these stupid storylines and make the people, oh my god, I gotta watch this or whatever. And but it was still a good pay-per-view. But like you said, that the pacing was very weird. The way certain matches were set up, it felt like it was out of order, out of sync. And definitely at this point, anything with the Young Bucks, it just ruins the pay-per-view, in my opinion. I think the pay-per-view would have been 1,000 times better if we didn't have the Young Bucks at all. Like, don't put them in any pay-per-view, and I guarantee you it'll be a much better pay-per-view than what you'll actually get. Because they just ruin everything.
Mark my words, and Jack, I want to see your facial expression when I say this. I would sooner be at a Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax versus Becky Lynch match with the words on my shirt, "Fight Forever" in diamond studs all over it, before I ever watch another Young Bucks match again.
I agree. I hate to say it, I agree. I would rather see MJF main event to WrestleMania than another Young Bucks match.
I say, goddamn.
Okay, maybe that's a little too far. I'll have a main event to Backlash. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. Just
That's a
down
little better. That's a little better. That's a one and done. Maybe WrestleMania is a little too much. Maybe you can do a New Year's Evil or whatever.
They're obligated to have the Young Bucks because, Tony Khan's in charge of this whole fucking thing. At least put them in the 0 hour. 0 hour at least, but don't put them in the main event matches because I don't care. Nobody really cares about it.
Yeah, even though the title match really should have just been there. They should have let that be the last match for the 0 hour or something,
I can't wait to see. I hope Tony's stupidity just keeps going on full display. Hey Tony, I heard you broke your neck. I did. How'd you know? Isn't that crazy?
Honestly, I mean, there's still parts. There's still parts of the AEW I love, but the more stupidity and the more shenanigans that happen, the more I'm watching it with a critical eye. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
The guy's stumbling
rather-
over himself.
I would rather than watch a Young Bucks match. I just thought of something. I would rather watch MJF fighting Orange Cassidy and the Acclaimed.
Oh no!
In a similar to you remember that Mimosa Mayhem match?
Yeah.
But instead of Mimosa Mayhem, it'd be a Bagels and Locks match. So it'd be just a whole kiddie pool full of like cream cheese, and then them smacking them with a fish, just like a full on slap of salmon. Like, wow! I'd rather watch that than a Young Bucks match.
Two big men smacking mackerel. Oh God, that's just wrong. It doesn't even sound right.
Tell me you couldn't see Khan booking it. But I agree with you, Johnny. You're right. The ridiculousness needs to stop. If you want to be taken seriously, then be serious. That's it. It's as simple as that. You want to act like you're an adult, stop ordering off the kids menu.
Right?
And not only that, but nowadays, especially with everybody's super like canceling everything, the cancel culture. Do you really want to cancel your product that way? Like seriously, what Tony Khan is doing, he's really making people want to cancel the hell out of AEW.
Yeah,
Including
it is.
AEW,
Sponsorship
at
with
this
them
point, he's put his
anymore.
foot so far in his mouth. I'm surprised the Jacksonville Jaguars are not being moved to the XFL.
I agree.
Oh.
Or yeah,
And
But
that
it's
dude
the
is
point-
Tony Khan is so stupid because there's a chance of a lifetime to be on the ESPN, to be with the NFL and shit. Like, it's his moment to promote his product the most he can. And what does he do? He fucks that shit up. How stupid
Yeah,
do you have to be? Like
I said, I gotta find that clip.
I'll
I'll send you guys that clip of the freaking ESPN guy just roasting him for not keeping his own kayfabe. That was the
Oh, God, that was
someone
great.
needs to tell Tony Khan not to turn his head if he's going to be in a neck brace. You see Tony Khan's neck brace, he's like,
Was he even wearing it right?
no, he
I
was
don't know.
wearing it,
Yeah.
but his dad was sitting behind him.
No. Was he wearing it correctly? So I can see him botching that up.
He probably had it on backwards or something.
I can see that.
Anyway.
Like, I hate to say it, Tony Khan's stumbling over himself worse than Jeff Hardy in that TNA match with Sting.
Oh.
I said it.
He is the Jeff Hardy of bookers.
Yeah, and I will end it like this. I said it. Cry me a river.
No, that's not a thing. Stop making
I mean,
that.
I like the pay-per-view. I just didn't care for the Roderick match, and we're tired of the Young Bucks. I was, there were surprises here and there. I'm glad Willow won the title. I'm glad Swerve won the title. Surprised that Jericho won the title. That was like the surprise of it, But like you guys say, the bad thing is the controversies always seem to happen around the general time. And that's clouding on the pay-per-view. Now you're thinking more about that. Or you have the thing where Swerve won, but then like how the next episode of Dynamite opened up, it kind of, knocks the wind out of your sails and stuff like that. So
Yeah, no point. It's like, oh, there was a championship. He won his championship just with that one little line by Nana, and then that's it,
And that's the thing though, like it would make sense if he was someone that wasn't a talker, but Swerve has talked and done promos and talked trash. So it doesn't
Yeah,
make
he's
sense
great.
to have some kind of opening promo or something.
Yeah.
But it's more important to see that the best friend betrayed Orange Cassidy.
Oh, but of course. Or seeing Okada and the Bucks and Perry arriving at the arena with the terrible audio.
Oh man. But anyways, guys, that's it for now. I believe. I think we mosted all our stuff because again, it's just so many things. We just go in circles and circles. So I
gotta say, one thing I want to add.
Young Bucks.
Because the show had terrible audio, I actually think that was karma hitting them at that moment. That was karma hitting them because come on, guys, there's just so much shenanigans.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's going on. It just kind of sucks because even with the podcast, you see, if you watch our episodes since the first ones, you see the hope, like you can hear the hope in their voices, the cheering, the voices, how happy we were, excited we were. Almost everyone loved the Young Bucks. You can talk about how cool they were. But then we started...
Except for me. I was the only one.
And then we had the thing with the sparklers, exploding barbed wire. But then later we went like, whoa, this other pay-per-view was so awesome. It turned that whole thing around, and now we're back to it's going down again. So I don't know.
It's sad because you want. This is the thing. I've said this before. I want it to succeed. I just don't see it succeeding because of. It doesn't matter how good a ship is.
But the bad thing is, as things keep spiraling down, it kind of looks like we're actually chronicling the downfall, the slow downfall.
Yeah, it feels like it for me. It's like it doesn't matter how good a crew you have, how good a ship you have, how fast it goes, how anything. If you have a captain who keeps crashing it into a mountain, it's not going to matter how good the damn ship is.
No,
it's the same principle.
No, let's change that. Let them crash into something that a boat should not be able to crash into.
Yeah, like a cloud.
Yeah, exactly. That's how.
It's like, how did you? It's all like, oh, it's like Khan will be like, I landed my ship on top of a mountain. How? It's not even water. I don't know, guys. Figure it out.
I'm done. I'm done.
So anyways, guys, we're signing off for tonight's episode of the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast, America's #1 cure for insomnia, and also chronicling the slow downfall of AEW. This is Mark Rodriguez signing off.
Ninja Panda 1980, putting on my neck brace, and I'm getting out of here.
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews, double selling, double kicking, and double receipts.
So,
And this is Johnny Rodriguez.
and I'm Wendy. Bye-bye.
Hey, at least we're dressed properly. See you next time, guys. I'm glad we're doing this is better than that. So at least that's good news. We're doing less
Thank
this
you.
and doing more this. You know what I mean? So yeah, see you next time, guys.